Good morning, students. A good day starts with a good thought. So with this thought, let us start our today's class. As we all know, we all are studying chapter number 1, Evolution of Computers. And till our previous class, we have completed 3 generations of computers. First generation computers, second generation computers, and third generation computers. And in this class, we are going to see what are fourth generation computers and fifth generation computers. So before starting with these two topics, let us revise what we have learned in our previous class. Alright?
So let us see what we have studied in our previous class. So in our previous class, we have completed two topics, second generation computers and third generation computers. So we are going to do quick revision because we have already covered these two topics. First, we will see what are second generation computers. So the time period was from 1956 to 1963. So in second generation computers, elements are transistors and magnetic disk. Second generation computers are much faster, smaller, cheaper and more energy efficient. Second generation computer ज़्यादा fast, ज़्यादा छोटा, सस्ता और ज़्यादा energy efficient है as compared to first generation computers. Alright, now next point is in second generation computers, input was in the form of punched cards and output was in the form of printouts. And the programming language which was used in second generation computers are COBOL and Fortran. Alright, these are the two examples of programming languages which were used in second generation computers, COBOL and Fortran. Now we are going to see some of the examples of second generation computers. Examples are IBM 700, IBM 1401 and Atlas. These are the three examples of second generation computers. Now next we are going to see what are third generation computers. So the time period for third generation computers was from 1964 to 1971 and the elements are integrated circuits and semiconductors. These are the two elements which were used in third generation computers, alright, integrated circuits and semiconductors. Next, keyboards, monitors and operating systems were used in third generation computers. कीबोर्ड्स मॉनिटर्स और ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स को थर्ड जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स में यूज़ किया जाता था काम करने के लिए. ठीक है, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सी some of the examples of third generation computers. First is IBM 360 and second one is IBM 370. These are the two examples of third generation computers. Alright, so these two topics we have already studied in our previous class. Now in this class we are going to see what are fourth generation computers. And on your screen you can see an image of fourth generation computer. And time period was from 1972 to present. 1972 से फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स को यूज़ किया जाता है और आपके स्क्रीन पे आप फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर को देख सकते हैं. Now we are going to see what are fourth generation computers. All the components of the CPU is present on one chip in case of fourth generation computers. CPU में कुछ components होते हैं और जो CPU में components होते हैं वो सारे components एक single chip में present है in case of fourth generation computers. Now let us see what are the main components of CPU. There are three main components of CPU, Central Processing Unit. First component is Arithmetic and Logic Unit, जिसे हम ALU भी कहते हैं. This is the first component of Central Processing Unit. Second component of CPU is Control Unit. And the third component is Memory Unit. Alright. So these are the three main components of Central Processing Unit. और ये तीनों component जो है CPU के, ये तीनों component फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर में एक सिंगल चिप में पाए जाते हैं, जिसे हम इंटेल चिप कहते हैं। आप यहाँ इंटेल चिप देख सकते हैं, जो तीनों सीपीयू के कंपोनेंट्स है इसी सिंगल चिप में पाए जाते हैं इन केस ऑफ फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स। ऑलराइट, नाउ लेट अस सी आवर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट। Fourth generation computers used very large scale integrated, whose short form is VLSI, circuit technology. This is an image of VLSI. Alright, now what is VLSI? Let me explain it to you. जैसे कि हमने देखा सेकेंड और थर्ड जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स में जो कंपोनेंट्स थे वो ट्रांजिस्टर्स, मैग्नेटिक डिस्क, इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट्स और सेमीकंडक्टर्स थे। ठीक है, ये सारे कंपोनेंट्स सेकेंड जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स और थर्ड जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स के थे। तो इन सारे एलिमेंट्स को कंबाइन करके जो सर्किट बनाया गया है इन केस ऑफ फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स, उन्हें हम वेरी लार्ज स्केल इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट कहते हैं। ठीक है, तो इस तरह की सर्किट को फोर्थ जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स में यूज किया जाता है। आप सर्किट को अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं। This kind of circuits are used in fourth generation computers, all right, and the circuit is called as very large scale integrated circuit. Now, next point, let us see. Fourth generation computers are much smaller and cheaper as compared to first, second and third generation computers, all right, and floppy disks and mouse are used in fourth generation computers. The left side image is of floppy disk and the right one is of mouse. So these two things are used in fourth generation computers to work. Next, graphical user interface GUI is used in case of fourth generation computers. Now you all must be thinking, what is GUI? Let me explain it to you. GUI is a computer program that enables a person to communicate with a computer by using symbols, menus and icons. GUI एक कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम है जिसकी मदद से यूज़र, अगर आप कंप्यूटर यूज़ करेंगे तो आप एक यूज़र कहलाएंगे। तो GUI एक कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम है जिसकी मदद से यूज़र कंप्यूटर से कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, उनसे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं या उनसे इंटरैक्ट कर सकते हैं with the help of symbols, menus and icons. Okay, here you can see some of the icons or symbols on your screen like games, photos, calendar, calculator, camera, music. These are some symbols or icons. With the help of these symbols or icons, you can connect, you can communicate with computer. Okay, so this is called as GUI, graphical user interface. So this kind of symbols or icons are used in fourth generation computers. With the help of these GUI, you can communicate or you can interact or you can connect with the computer. Okay, now next point is fourth generation computers uses programming languages such as Python, Ruby, Perl to work. Okay, so these are some examples of programming languages which are used in fourth generation computers. Python, Ruby and Perl. These are the programming languages. All right. So now we are going to see some of the examples of fourth generation computers. First example is IBM PC. This is an image of IBM PC, which is an example of fourth generation computers. Now next example is Apple Macintosh. This is also an example of fourth generation computers. You can see on your screen Apple Macintosh. Okay, this is an image of Apple Macintosh, which is an example of fourth generation computers. So these are the two examples which you have seen now of fourth generation computers. Now let us move on ahead. Now we are going to see what are fifth generation computers. Okay, so presently we all are using fifth generation computers. On your screen you can see an image of fifth generation computer. Nowadays we all are using fifth generation computers, all right, and fifth generation computers are based on artificial intelligence, AI. Now, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? Let me explain it to you. Artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and to mimic their actions. All right? Let me explain it to you. जैसे हमारे अंदर एक इंटेलिजेंस होता है, एक बुद्धि होती है जो हमें नई नई चीज़ें समझने, उसे सीखने, उसे परखने और परेशानियों को हल करने में हमारी मदद करती है, उसी तरह मशीनों को भी हम इंटेलिजेंट बना सकते हैं ताकि वह अपने डिसीजंस खुद ले सके, अपना काम खुद कर सके। तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में क्या होता है, प्रोग्रामर्स कुछ ऐसे सॉफ्टवेयर्स बनाते हैं जिसे अगर हम कुछ मशीन्स में फिट कर दे तो वह भी हम ह्यूमंस की तरह काम कर सकते हैं या हम उन्हें ह्यूमंस की तरह काम करवा सकते हैं। तो आप में से कई लोगों ने सोफिया का नाम सुना होगा। आप अपने स्क्रीन पे सोफिया को देख सकते हैं। यह एक इंसानों की तरह दिखने वाली मशीन है जो हम इंसानों की ही तरह कुछ अलग अलग एक्सप्रेशंस दे सकती है। सोफिया को हांगकांग में बनाया गया है, जो एक रोबोट है जो हमारी ही तरह दिखती है और हमारी ही तरह अलग अलग एक्सप्रेशंस दे सकती है। आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं सोफिया को, जो अभी गुस्से के एक्सप्रेशन दे रही है, नेक्स्ट जो अभी सैड है, एंड नेक्स्ट यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन नाउ शी इज हैप्पी। So Sophia is a robot and she can give different expressions like human beings, and she looks just like us. She looks like us human beings, right? So she uses artificial intelligence to work, and she is an example of 5th generation computers, and she uses artificial intelligence to work. Okay? So these are some images of Sophia which you can see on your screen. Sophia is angry. She's sad. She's happy. These are some images of Sophia, and she is a robot who can give expressions like us, and she uses artificial intelligence to work. All right. Now let us move on ahead and see our next point. So 5th generation computers uses programming languages like Prolog, OPS5 and Mercury to work. These are some programming languages which are used by 5th generation computers. Okay. Now let us see some of the examples of 5th generation computers. First example is robots. On your screen you can see some robots. These are some examples of 5th generation computers, and just now we have seen Sophia. She is also an example of 5th generation computers. All right. Next example is robotic toys. You all must have played with robots, right? Robotic toys you all must have used. So some of the examples of 5th generation computers are robotic toys. Next example is devices with speech recognition. आप सब लोग अभी मोबाइल फोन्स यूज कर रहे हैं, आप वॉइस मैसेजेस देते हैं, आप वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग करते हैं, है ना? सो ऑल दीज आर एग्जांपल्स ऑफ 5th जनरेशन कंप्यूटर्स। आपने टीवी पे या आपने यूज भी किया होगा एलेक्सा को, है ना? एलेक्सा जिसे आप बोलते हैं एलेक्सा प्लीज प्ले वन म्यूजिक, प्लीज प्ले वन सॉन्ग. So this is also a device which uses speech recognition. So these are some examples of 5th generation computers like robots, robotic toys and devices with speech recognition. All right.
Okay children, so we have completed generations of computers. In our next class we will see what are supercomputers, what are the characteristics of computers and what are the limitations of computers. Okay, so I will meet you again in the next class. Bye bye and good day.